Hey guys, I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles classic cartoon series, Traag and Granitor from NECA Toys. I would like to thank NECA for providing these for review. We greatly appreciate that. As I'm sure you're aware, these two figures were shown at San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago. And at the time, they just showed them in the display. There was no real information about their availability, but it was nice that they put them out to kind of whet the appetite of fans to let them know that we are getting some more characters into the line. And I, for one, was so excited to finally have cartoon accurate versions of these characters. Back when I was little, I loved these characters. I just thought they were great additions to the show. And I'm very excited to have these show accurate figures in hand. It's really a great time to be a fan of the franchise. And I, for one, can't wait to see what NECA does next. I believe that the Neutrinos are coming. It's really only a matter of time. Since they got these two Dimension X characters out, there's no reason why they can't do the Neutrinos. So hopefully that will happen sooner rather than later. These are available now at Target stores in the US, and they should be coming soon to the NECA store for both US and international fans. So as you can see on camera, there is a look at the packaging. It's got the standard window box with cartoon drawing right there, and the classic Ninja Turtles logo, the Nickelodeon logo, and their names on top. And on the sides are images of the figures. That right there is Granitor. And there's Traag. And the back of the packaging has a look at images of the figures, again with the Nickelodeon and Ninja Turtles logo, their names, a brief description, and a look at additional figures that are available. Metalhead is available now, and the other two are coming soon. And also, here's a look at the bottom of the box. This gives you the names of all the great people at NECA responsible for bringing these to plastic form. We love you guys. And if anyone's interested, here's a look at the UPC right here. Let me bring that a little bit closer. So what I'm going to do now is open this up and let's take a closer look. Hey guys, welcome back. So as you can see, I've taken Traag and Granitor out of packaging, and I could not be any happier with how these came out. These are phenomenally done. I've waited 30 years for a company to give us show-accurate Rock Soldier figures like these, and these guys do not disappoint. Just look at that incredible amount of detail, likeness, paint apps, sculpting, everything. There's just a lot to love about these figures. So as you can see, they definitely look the part of rock soldiers, and NECA has captured a great deal amount of likeness here. Really, really happy with every aspect about these figures. Everything about them just screams great, in my opinion. The articulation is phenomenal. The big bulky parts don't really get in the way of that, as they found a way to give us double hinged elbows and knee articulation, shoulder, neck, everything you would basically want in a Rock Soldier figure is here, inspired from the classic TV series. These guys just, I couldn't be any happier. I cannot express that enough, just how wonderfully detailed they are. So as you can see on camera there, they're in their iconic colors. Traag is in a light brown, and there's also a lightning bolt badge on his chest right there. He also has a lighter color that's painted around him. They did a really nice job on that. There's also some black highlighted detail throughout the figure sculpt. Right now we're just looking at the front of the figure. And of course, Granitor is in a dark gray with a light gray deco. They really did a nice job through and through the sculpt here. There's also a badge on his chest there. The head sculpts are just phenomenally done. Loving the likenesses. I love how they did Granitor's nose. If you remember from the show, it was pointy like this. So you can see that right there. They even captured a great amount of detail on the helmets as well. Granitor's is a blue with a gray, and Traag's is dark and light green, along with some black line deco through and through. And there's a closer look at their head sculpts. You see the black shading throughout the sculpts here. They did a really nice job, especially on the mouth, the nose, the eyes. Again, I'm loving how they did Granitor's nose. It's pointy, just like it is on the cartoon. The helmets are not removable, if anyone was curious. I don't believe they were ever removable on the cartoon. Almost positive that was the case, so they're definitely not removable on the figures. Overall, they did a really nice job on these. You see Granitor's neck right here. It's just on a thin piece of rock right there, as seen on the cartoon. I think they did a really nice job there. It's probably a little bit on the fragile side, as these are for adult collectibles, so just be aware of that. These are definitely not for children. You see the amount of details on Traag here. Just look at that nice sculpting on the cheeks. Everything about him just very, couldn't be happier with how he came out. I'm loving the smirk on his face. Like, come on, Turtles. You know, they really did a great job through and through there. And let's take another look at Granitor. The side of his face. I'm loving how they did his eyes. He's got a good grin there. His mouth is right here, but it's closed. You can't really see it. And let's take a closer look at that neck that I was just pointing out to you. You see it's all the way down there. It's ball jointed, and again, a little bit on the fragile side. So just be aware, these are definitely not for children. If you're looking to buy these for kids, I would strongly recommend not to. These are for adult collectibles, only because I would hate to see a kid with broken figures. Adults know to be much more careful with them. So they did a really nice job through and through. The helmets, just look at that great attention to detail that they did here. There's a look at the side of the helmets. And let's take a look at the other side. All right, going back to the front, I want to point out that both figures share some parts. That includes their chest piece and legs. Both the arms are unique. The upper chest here on Granitor is unique. The head sculpts are unique. And some various parts along the shoulders through the figures are unique. The belt and the accessories are the same. The shoes and cleats are the same. They have cleats on the bottom of their feet here, which is a nice little detail that I didn't realize these were coming with until I had them in hand. And it was just a nice little surprise to see some cleats. The belts, they hold the blaster, which are also identical for both figures. And I'll show you what it looked like in their hand in a few moments. But I just want to give you guys an overall look at the figures here. And there's a look at the back. You see how the pieces are shared and unique from behind. You also see the back of their helmets, their legs, the pouches on their belt there. Both figures are very nicely done. You also see the shading on their boots right here with the cleats on the bottom there for both Granitor and Traag. And there's a look at their arm. The hands are the same, I forgot to mention that, but everything else about the arms are unique to the character. And there's a look at the other side. As you can see, the arms are, again, unique. And they did a really nice job on the sculpting and painting. Really loving how these came out. You see the great amount of detail on the hands here. I think they really did a nice job, the painting, everything. And there's a closer look at their hands, just so you can get a closer look at what's going on here. They did a really nice job, even sculpting the fingers. I'm loving how they did that. The paint wash in between the grooves there. I think they really did a nice job through and through. And there's a look at Traag and Granitor holding their blaster. Their left hand is too big for the blaster, so you want to put it in their right hand. And I would also suggest using a hairdryer just to loosen it up a little bit so the gun can be placed in without the paint chipping or anything. Again, these are very fragile, and when you place accessories and hands, stuff like that, you want to loosen up the joints so you don't get any damage on the figures, such as paint damage and things like that. So as you can see, the blasters fit very well in their right hands, and they're also identical. Which you can see there. They did a really nice job on these guns right here. These are painted in light and dark blue with some black lines through the grooves, stuff like that, giving it some extra detail. And there's a closer look at the blasters for you guys. Again, they did a really nice job. The fingers don't fit on the trigger there, but that's okay. They fit very well in the hand, at least the handle does. And again, they did a really nice job on these. Hey guys, so as you can see, Traag and Granitor also come with a few accessories. Fewer than most other figures, I would like to point out. No interchangeable hands, anything like that. But they do come with several accessories that they can hold in their hands. One of which is the communication device that he can hold, as you see right here. And you see a picture of Krang on there, as seen from the animated series. This is so Krang can talk to his rock soldiers, Shredder, Rocksteady, Bebop. It's the exact same thing that's been previously offered with other figures, but it's a great accessory, and again, it was featured in the animated series many times over, and it was before FaceTime, so these devices were decades ahead of their time, and it's a great a little accessory to have with these figures. And there's a close-up at it, in case you were wondering. You see Krang's face on there. And again, he can hold it. It just slides right in his hand. You don't really need to heat it up with the hairdryer like you do with the blasters. And it looks really good with it. Also included is a can of mutagen, which is right here on the floor. It's the same as previously offered. Has some nicely sculpted patterns to it with black lines in between the tiny little grooves and stuff like that. They did a really nice job on it, and it even has patterns there on the on one side, but on the other it's plain. In addition to the communication device and the can of mutagen, they come with wanted screens of the Neutrinos that you guys see here. This is just like they look on a computer screen, and it has each one of their faces. This one is Zach, and I, for one, am so happy to have these, as it not only acknowledges the Neutrinos from NECA Toys, but it could very well be a pretty good hint that they're coming down the line, as I stated in the beginning of this video. These were great characters in the classic cartoon series, and I can't wait to have these characters in the line. They haven't been done since Playmates Toys offered the vintage line. So, as you can see there, these are all computer screens of each of the Neutrinos, all three of them. And again, these characters are most likely coming down the line eventually, as this line has exploded, as Randy stated on Twitter recently. So I think it's only a matter of time, and I can't wait. Okay, so what do you say we start comparing Traag and Granitor with some previously offered figures, such as Krang? And I've been waiting 30 years for a line like this, as I stated earlier. Just look how good they look with Krang, and it's everything that fans of the classic cartoon series has been waiting for. Just look at that. It was great, bright cartoon colors, the great attention to detail, the sculpt. There's definitely a lot to love about these characters, and as you can see, everything about it, including the scale with Krang and his bubble walker, it just works extremely well to each other. Continuing on with a look at these figures, I threw in Shredder to give you guys a look at the four of these guys together. Really, for the first time since the TV show originally aired, in my opinion. No one's done anything like this before, toy-wise. So these figures work great together and great representations of the classic cartoon series. Traag and Granitor are just so phenomenally done. I can't stress that enough. And just look how great they look with Krang and Shredder. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. And here's a shot with Traag and Granitor along with various foot soldiers around them. And again, Shredder and Krang, you see another good look at the scale-wise. Both Traag and Granitor have phenomenal scales. They're bigger, they're bulkier, just as they were depicted in the classic cartoon. And NECA really did a great job bringing that character likeness out into this line, as you can see. And here's a look at Traag and Granitor with the Gruesome Twosome, Rocksteady, and Bebop, in case anyone was wondering. All four characters were depicted as big, bulkier ones, seen in the classic cartoon, compared to humans, such as April O'Neil. And they look great compared to each other, just like they did in the cartoon. Alright, and here's a comparison with April O'Neil of Casey Jones, who have both been previously released. We reviewed both these guys recently, so go back to those videos and check out those reviews. But here's a comparison with them with Traag and Granitor. And again, the scale and everything works very well with each other. You can clearly see that the rock soldiers are depicted as bigger, bulkier characters, and humans much more scrawny and weaker by comparison. But I'm pretty convinced that neither one of these rock soldiers are a match for Casey Jones, to be honest with you. He's just too big of a badass, in my opinion, and he can find a way to beat them up. But again, scale-wise and everything, they look great to each other, and I would strongly recommend picking up all four of them. And here's a comparison with Traag and Granitor along with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Once again, the scale works. Both the rock soldiers are depicted as bigger, almost tougher looking, just as they did in the animated series. And once again, NECA really did a great job capturing that likeness from the series. And as you can see, they tower over the turtles just as they should. They're bigger, they're bulkier. My guess is that they're stronger too, and overall they just look great. So overall, I think NECA has done a remarkable job on these figures. Just look at that incredible amount of detail. The likenesses, there's a lot to love about these. What I also said earlier on in the video is that the articulation doesn't really get blocked by the bulkiness of the figures. They have double jointed elbows. And they have jointed knees in the back, hips, ball jointed torsos, ball jointed necks, basically everything that you would want in a rock soldier from today's standards as far as high end detail, articulation, everything. That's what's offered here. And NECA has just done a fantastic job on these. So I highly recommend you guys picking these up, especially if you're such a fan and passionate over the classic cartoon series from back in the day. Definitely grab these. These are available now at Target stores, and they should be coming to the NECA store soon for both international and US based fans that are having trouble finding these in stores. I do know I haven't seen them myself in stores, but they're out as of 10/2, 2020. So be on the lookout for them, and hopefully you can find them. But if not, check back at the NECA store as these will hopefully be available soon. Again, for both US and international fans, just as we've seen previous offers go up, these should as well. I'd like to thank NECA for providing these for review. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Please like and share this video. Please spread the word that we're reviewing these figures. Help us grow. We'd appreciate that. Please follow us on social media, links below in the description on YouTube or on the upper right-hand side of the website under Follow Us. You'll be looking at icons. Please check out the written portion and photo gallery on this review, link in the description on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more coverage.